Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel, and we're here on the world tour and flying into every country and territory in the world. We're on World Tour Flight 241. We're in Nadi, Fiji. We're headed out to Sydney, Australia. Today we're on a Fiji Airways. As you can see, we're in the Boeing 738 from PMDG. And long flight here, block time about 4 hours 55 minutes, 1,712 nautical miles. Like right now, we're gonna get things going quickly if we can. Go. All right, so I got a new checklist. It's like a ton of pages here too. Get things going. Alright, so did all the aircraft options. Pretty cool comprehensive checklist. Or kind of flow thing. Alright, so hopefully I can do this quickly enough. Ground services, FS actions as required. We'll do that a little bit later. Alright. Flight deck safety inspection, battery on and started. Alright, battery on and guarded. Electric hydraulic pumps. Like this, so I'm not cocking my head all weird. They're all gonna be off. Landing gear lever down and 3 green. There. Alright, preliminary flight deck preparation. Ground power as required. Let's see. I think we can. It's been a while since I've done this plane, so hopefully ground power is there. Oh, we'll turn that on. Ground power selected. Fault in-app detection. Overheat detector switch. Well, here's the part where a lot of these extra things, safety detections and everything, trying to figure out. Kind of learn where they are actually. Actually, is it right there? There it is. Overheat detection. Switch normal. S switch hold. Fault in up. Yeah, we hold the fault and in op. Verify master caution and overheat detect. Lit. Yep. Alright. Do the extinguisher test. Alright, APU. Start the APU. Back up top. Aft pump. And verify low pressure lit. Yep, APU switch start. On. I'm kind of reading this flow and it's a little bit, quite a bit. SJF, Shurf, 00967. Okay, welcome in. So we got start monitoring the EGT. It should start coming up. We can see we got that low oil pressure there. There it goes. And that should extinguish after a few seconds. Wait for the APU gen off bus lit. Be right in here. And then turn on the generators. That's our typical thing. The cargo fire system, that's again probably gonna be kind of going slow here, just trying to pick up some of the stuff that I haven't done before. Alright, manual gear extension, access door closed, emergency equipment checked, circuit breakers checked, cockpit voice recorder here. That's that. Okay. Lock airspeed warning test. Stall warning test. Cursor lights off. Again, some of this stuff is like, okay, where is it? Alright. EEC switch is on. The problem is I need to watch a video, learn all this stuff again. Some of this extra stuff. Passenger oxygen switch, guard normal. Crew oxygen pressure indicator check. Service interphone switch as required, GPS light off. IRS mode selectors. First on DC. And then it should verify a line. Emergency locator, transmitter, where is that? ELT, where is that? Yeah, a lot of the planes ELT is down here by your seatbelts. Emergency exits. Like I said, I don't know where everything is. PSU light off, circuit breakers again, crash axe stowed. Okay, exterior inspection. There we go. Turn on these emergency lights. Get into our FMC, get things started. For an air rack, our position, we are at November, Foxtrot, November. Copy that down. Go back up top. Set the nav. Alright. Let's do our fuel. Fuel today we need 15,379. So we'll call for ground services. Get the fuel truck coming over. And we'll get our IFR clearance.
Nadi Tower, Fiji 915, gate 23, request clearance to Kingsford Smith with information, Charlie.
Fiji 915, cleared to Kingsford Smith, 5 Foxtrot, departure, runway 20, initial climb 3000, then is filed, squawk 6546.
cleared to Kingsford Smith via Foxtrot departure, runway 20, initial climb 3000, then as filed, squawk 6546, Fiji 915.
Fiji 915, readback correct. When ready, contact Nadi ground 118.1.
When ready, contact Nadi ground 118.1, Fiji 915.
Alright, initial climb 3000. We got squawk 6546. There it is, down there. Taking off runway 20. Get our Yankee Sierra Sierra Yankee for Sydney. Flight number 915. And we're doing runway 20 today. Page. Start putting the route in. Here, we'll start fueling.
Refueling truck is on its way. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
For some reason, GSX insists on sending the fuel truck over now, automatically. Didn't used to do that. We're just using the PMDG fuel truck. The GSX one, which is coming over, doesn't always seem to want to work really well with the PMDG. Finish our payload before we go too much further. We have with us today
Fuel truck is in position.
140 passengers.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Let's see, let's how to divide it. We'll have 10 in first class, and we'll have 130 in cargo 3475. Right. Ground services or fueling. Perfect. Come on, dude. GSX. Let's get passengers coming on board. Gonna send the jetway away for now, because once you start boarding, it will come out automatically. Yeah, problems.
Boarding requested.
All right. Okay, continuing on with our flow. Let's get into the computer, put our route in. We're going out direct to Tepic. Alpha 579 for our airway. Upex.
Do you want to board crew?
Rudder.
Passengers boarding starting.
Alpha 579 again. Quiet off there. Upsad. Barb. Rickney. November 774. Marlin. And then we have our Marlin 5 approach. Activate that, execute. And go to our departure arrival. Departure runway 20, already on there. Back, and then arrival is going to be Marlin 5, runway 34. This to the ILS. Execute. Going down. Perfect knit. Page. is. I think that's going to change as we go along. So we got our 0 fuel weight. Actually, there it is, 57.8. Exactly. Oh, we already got everything on board. That's right. So plan, we got 15.5. That's going to go up. Reserves, I think we have 0.7. Cost index 46. Our cruise today is going to be 340, 34,000 feet. Cruise wind. That one, 281. 064. Up climb, there's our temperatures being negative 41 degrees. Transition altitude is 11,000. And hit execute. Alright, N1 limit. This is where I'm going to go over to my calculator. Boeing 738. Those birds, I don't know if you guys can hear those. Maybe not, but they are just losing their mind right outside my window. Alright, so there's the calculations. We got assumed temperature of 41 degrees. Oh. $41 degrees. Flaps 5. We're going to do a 26K takeoff. Got our speeds, everything there. Go to takeoff page, flaps 5. Center of gravity and trim. Our speeds are slightly different on here. So we'll just go with what the plane giving us in sim. They're just off by 1 knot. And then our V2 is still 153. Perfect there. And next page. Runway and wind. 136 degrees or 6 knots. Give me the slope, unfortunately, on this calculator. We do have a dry runway. Back previous page. And it's even letting us get up to a higher speed, V1, but that's also our rotate speed. Perfect. Alright, and that is everything we need. Stabilizer trim, be 5.41 here. Takeoff data review, good. Altimeter setting, 2997. We'll actually have that in 1015. Okay. Pressure system up top here. Going for 34,000. We're at 100 feet right now. Right. Flare shield, minimums, plate pack vector, meters, all this. Set everything as we want it. Good for now. This. on his page. First officer's page. As everything looks good, we want to put in our V2 speed right there. Mode control, good. Clock's set. 4:05 in the afternoon. That's a 4:05 UTC time. I think it's about 3:05 in the afternoon I have for sim. Right, speed brake is in the down. Reverse thrust levers are in the down. Forward thrust levers closed. Start levers cut off. Parking brake set. Verify LED on. This. Stabilizer trim cutout normal. Light test. Oh, there's the cargo. Wanted. Light test. There. Alright. Yeah, I kind of need to practice doing this off the stream because we're kind of running out of time. Going through, got the yaw damper on. All 5 switches covered up here. Navigation, transfer, and display switches auto and normal. Yep. Fuel system, engine valve closed. Dim. Spar valve closed or dim. Filter bypass extinguished. Crossfeed selector closed. Valve open, extinguished. Fuel pumps on. We do have center tanks as well, so those on. And low pressure should extinguish. Galley power on. IFE passenger power. I always lose where this stuff is. I think it just have a nice flow. Electrical system, good. Circuit breaker, equipment cooling off. Passenger signs on or auto. Window heat. Overhead is extinguished and on. Okay, probe heat off. Wing and engine anti-ice valve open, extinguished. Hydraulics. Systems A and B pumps on. Those are extinguished. The low pressure. Pressurization indicators, cabin differential 0. Cabin altitude, fuel elevation, and cabin rate of climb is 0. Okay. Exterior lights. Logo on. And nav lights. Those are, yeah, that's it. Ignition select switch, alternate on subsequent starts, engine start selectors off and auto. Alright, sounds like cargo all on board. Send away the fuel truck. Alright, let's anything else there. Yeah, stand by right now. I should have probably gotten my more simplified checklist just because I haven't gone over all this to know where everything is. But otherwise, yeah, we are in a good place. Alright. Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen tested 100%. Navigation transfer display switches. Normal auto. Window heat on. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Flight instruments. Heading. We don't have it in, but we do have altimeter at 3000 or 1015. Not sure what that's looking for. Parking brake set. Engine start levers in the cutoff position. We're going to get our clearance. Here, remove the wheel chocks. And connecting the ground power. Oh, I never turned the packs on. Where was that? I missed the packs. There's our pressure. We're actually gonna turn the packs off though, really quick. Right before start checklist. Actually, give me a second. I'm gonna call for pushback and startup first.
Nadi ground, Fiji 915, gate 23, request pushback and startup.
Fiji 915, pushback and startup approved.
Pushback and startup approved, Fiji 915.
Right before start checklist. Flight deck door closed and locked. Fuel. I need a total here. There's a way to have the total.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
15400 kilograms. Pumps on. Passenger signs on. Auto. Windows locked. MCP V2. 153. Heading 0 or heading 94. Altitude 3000.
Departure checks completed.
Actually, our heading is going to be.
Bypass pen inserted.
I'll get this to 208. Should be our heading. Oh. And takeoff speeds. V1 147, V2 rotate 147, V2 153. Rudder and aileron trim free and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed. Anti-collision light on. Right. Alright, we want to taxi back so our tail is facing the right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
We're gonna go left ignition. Packs off. And starting engine 2.
Bula and welcome on board this Fiji Airways flight. Our commitment to safety is matched only by our love for nature and the environment around us. Welcome to our home.
Please give us your full attention as we take you through this important safety briefing and on a journey of discovery into some of the actions we've taken to preserve our wonderful yet fragile home.
First, please check that your tray table is stowed away, your seat is in the upright position, and your window shade is open.
Starting engine number 1.
All hand luggage must be stored in the overhead compartment or under the seat in front of you. And all large portable electronic devices, such as laptops and notebooks, must be stowed away prior to takeoff and landing.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Oil pressure rising.
All approved portable electronic devices must be switched to flight or airplane mode for the entire duration of the flight. If flight or airplane mode is not available, then ensure your device is switched off. If your portable electronic device gets trapped in your seat, do not move the seat. Call your crew for assistance. We remind our guests that smoking, including electronic cigarettes, is not permitted anywhere on board. Your seatbelt needs to be fastened
Starter
whenever
cutout.
you are seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Okay, so both generator
Fasten,
switches
clip the
on.
belt together and pull the strap tightly.
Tow truck disconnected.
Probes
To release
on.
it,
Pass pin
simply
removed.
lift the
Anti-ice is required. Pack switches back to auto.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Engine bleed on. APU bleed off. APU also turn
In the
that
unlikely
off.
event of an emergency, you may be instructed to take
Start
the
levers
brace
in.
position.
Oh wait, we want these set to comp. Sorry. Then the start
In
levers.
any emergency, follow your crew member's instructions. Illuminated
The
strips
idle
on the floor
V10.
and lights close to the exits
Flaps
will
set
guide
for
you
takeoff.
to the nearest exit if visibility is restricted. Your cabin crew will now point out the
Flaps
exits
5.
nearest to you. Please take the time to familiarize
These flight
yourself
controls.
with the nearest exit,
Free and full movement.
keeping in mind that it may be behind you. The exits are equipped with evacuation provisions which will be operated by the crew if needed.
Checked. Ground equipment removed. Alright. After start checklist. Generators on. Probe heat on. Anti-ice off.
A life jacket
Isolation
is
valve,
located
auto.
under your seat.
Engine
Or
start
in the compartment in the
switches
center
continuous.
for our business
Recall
class
checked.
guests. If required,
Auto
remove from
brake.
its pack.
RTO.
Slip it over your head,
Flight controls checked.
bring
Ground
the
equipment
tapes
clear.
around your waist and clip.
Nadi
buckle
ground,
together.
Fiji 915,
Pull
request
this
taxi.
tape to tighten.
BG
There is a
915,
red
taxi
tape
to
for
holding
inflating
point,
the jacket.
runway 20.
Pull this tag as you
Taxi
exit
to
the
holding
aircraft.
point, runway 20,
There is a
Fiji
mouthpiece
915.
for extra inflation, and the jacket has a light and a whistle for attracting attention.
Right. Cabin door locked. Or, oh, right. I'm gonna say before takeoff checklist, but we're start a taxi and then we'll do our check.
There's an oxygen mask in a unit above your head. If it's needed, it will drop down automatically from above. Pull the
Whereupon I
mask
haven't flown the
down to
Phoenix.
start oxygen flow.
As far as things to do, the
Remain in your
PMDG is a lot more stuff to do because it's the
Stay
Boeing, and
calm.
Boeing is just a little bit less automated.
Place the mask
A lot more
firmly over your
little
nose
things.
and
I got this new
mouth
checklist.
and
That's why it
breathe
took me a little bit
normally.
longer to get going
Pull the elastic
because I'm
tape over your
kind of
head
going and
and
trying to
adjust
learn
it
how
to
to do
hold the
every
mask
little
in
thing,
place.
all the little
Please
tests,
ensure
all
that
the
your mask is on
everything. So I don't know where
before
everything is right now.
assisting
So
children or others who may need your help.
but
Your crew
I only have the
are moving
PMDG.
through the cabin to conduct their final
I've heard that the
safety
Phoenix
checks.
is actually.
If you need more information, please refer to
I've seen places where people have said the Phoenix is actually better, and I'd have to give Phoenix the edge right now from what I've seen because they have an EFB. They have an electronic flight bag. PMDG has still not come out with has still not implemented the EFB, which is kind of irritating. Considering PMDG is considered the top of the pack for the longest time in the flight sim community.
118.1, Fiji 915.
All right. Before takeoff checklist, flaps, 5 green light, stabilizer trim, 5.4 units. Departure clearance.
Nadi Tower, Fiji 915, runway 20, ready for departure.
Fiji 915, line up, runway 20.
Line up, runway 20, Fiji 915.
Alright, get the Tara here on the transponder. We put the strobe lights on, landing lights on. Weather radar can come on. We're going to go weather and terrain. See, it's in op, but got it on in any case. And we'll line up and wait. Or line up runway 20. So I haven't purchased the FS Crew for this plane yet. I'm thinking about it, and after kind of getting things started just now, it would be pretty cool to have that first officer helping out.
Fiji 915, wind 120 degrees at 6 knots, runway 20, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 20, cleared for takeoff, Fiji 915.
We're definitely be using some time acceleration here. I'm already late, just getting started, about an hour and a half later than I usually start. And this is about a 5-hour flight. Okay, here we go. We're looking for our thrust levers at 40%. Get them at 40% there.
Viti. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Fiji 915, contact Nadi, approach 119.1.
Contact Nadi, approach 119.1, Fiji 915. Nadi approach, Fiji 915, Foxtrot departure at 2,100, climbing 3,000.
Fiji 915, radar contact, continue climb, flight level 120.
Continue climb, flight level 120, Fiji 915.
Alright, autopilot engaged. Flaps 2. Beautiful. After takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds. On. Packs. Auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up, no lights. Coming up at 10,000 feet. Landing lights off. Remember our transition altitude is 11,000, so we'll be going to standard in just a moment.
Fiji Niner 15, climb and maintain. Flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210, Fiji 915.
Standard pressure set. And just like that, we're out over the ocean. Pull out on our top of climb is going to be after Tanil. So used to having the first officer set that. We're going to use this is the time acceleration right here. We're going to bump that. Once we get to cruise, we'll probably bump it to at least 4 times speed, which works really well in the PMDG. That way you can, we got about we'll have about a 4-hour flight, so if we go 4 times, it should only take about an hour to do it. Considering it's almost 9 o'clock, and that's usually the cutoff for when I can do these flights and stuff, probably gonna have to do that. Considering most of this flight is over pretty empty ocean, not worried about that. We're gonna pass we'll have lower islands of Vanuatu and New Caledonia off on our right. Once we get to Upex and Virar, those 2 waypoints, look off to our right, we'll see Vanuatu, kind of the chain going off to the north, and then New Caledonia, the same thing at Virar. Then between there, if we look out the window on the other side at Virar, off in the distance, I don't think we'll be able to see it, but Norfolk Island would be over there. And then there's nothing really to see until we start catching the coast of Australia. I'm excited to be getting into Australia. I don't think I'm doing as many. I think I'm doing about the same number of flights as when I did an X-Plane. X-Plane I flew from, I think, Brisbane or the Gold Coast over to Alice Springs, which is in the middle of Australia, and you get that just the Mars landscape almost of the middle of Australia, the outback, and I'm not going to be doing that on this world tour, but that will be a flight we'll do at some point, because we hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit of the interior of Australia, because our flight from Sydney to Perth and then Perth back to Brisbane won't, you'll kind of be on the southern edge of Australia, southern edge of the desert. I don't know how much we'll see. But we're going to be flying from Sydney out to Perth, and then from Perth we'll fly up to Christmas Island and then Coco's Island and then back. I believe on my X-Plane World Tour I kind of made up some flights out of Jakarta out to those two islands, but this time we're going to go to the west coast of Australia and then fly out, do the real life flights. And that's the goal on this world tour, is to fly as many real actual routes that are flown in real life as possible, with the occasional fictional one. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. I've been planning out my flights pretty far out, almost have all the world tour flights planned out now, but there are a few places that just don't have any real commercial flights flying to them. For example, the British Indian Ocean territory. And the closest we get is Maldives, and I'm thinking, it's like, do I want to make like a fictional flight from Maldives down there to knock that off the list? Possibly. And maybe not require us to do that, to do a fly back, just to fly out and do that. I don't know. We'll see. South Georgia Island. There's a number of places out in the scattered Indian Ocean and the southern, really far south, where there are no airports. Or if there are, I think there is an airport at one of the places. We could have flown from Falkland Islands. I think we were the closest to get to like the South Georgia Islands or whatever, and there's just no commercial, there's no way to land a commercial aircraft on North South Georgia. So, hey Anhui, nice to meet you, welcome in. Hey Matt, welcome in. We're climbing out, just about 20,000 feet, our flight level 200. In the PMDG 738, we're just left Fiji behind us, and man, that's how quick it is. Fiji's all the way back there, and we'll try to stay with these kind of views so it's a little quieter. Dragon Fighter 16, hello. Thank you. Yeah, not the first time, but been a while since I've been in the PMDG and the 738, so just kind of getting used to things again. Got a ton of A320 flights, but if I look at my schedule for our world tour over here, we're looking at the schedule because we got a couple 737 flights right here. We're gonna do Fiji Airways. The next flight we're doing Qantas across Australia. And then we're gonna have a 3 flights in a row on Virgin Australia in the Airbus again. Then we'll have 4 738 flights, 3 Qantas, and 1 Air Vanuatu. Then we're gonna get into the ATR 76. So I have to get some work in on the ATR 76 before we get there, so that when I'm streaming, I have a clue what I'm doing. And then we'll be in actually we're going to have a long stretch where we're going to be in Boeing basically until we get into China on this world tour. So we're going to have quite a few Boeing flights coming up in a few months, which will be nice. Got one flight that's in the 767 300. I don't know if there's actually, I might have to switch that to a 738. I'm going to jump into we'll do a 747 flight for Asiana going into Japan. So. But yeah, basically on this world tour, just at this point, we're kind of bouncing between the 737 and the A320 with with that new ATR from Azobo making an appearance, which I wish I had that. I wish they had that earlier because I had quite a few ATR flights. I've had a number of ATR flights on this world tour where we've either substituted them with the CRJ or we flew it with the free mod, which wasn't exactly the real ATR. But we're getting to that point. I mean, we're on flight 241. I've got planned out. Let's see. I'm planned out through flight 295, and I think it's gonna take us probably into the, I'm gonna say about 320 flights when it's all said and done for the whole world tour. That's where I'm gonna place my bet around 320 flights. Oh. We can get in, if I can get in a couple flights every week, at least 2 flights a week, it should take us, should be done by next summer with this world tour. And hopefully by that point I'm in real life flight school and I won't really have time to, well, I might have time. I'm doing alright. Long day yesterday, but day off today, so get at least 1 flight in this morning, and possibly in the afternoon get a flight in, but probably not. At least not the next world tour flight. But maybe I'll do something offline. I do need to, every once in a while, I need to give myself a chance to do an offline flight to kind of learn the systems and stuff. Fen Ryan, hey, thank you for the raid. 10 viewers. Planet Neutral, welcome in. Yeah, it's been a while, Planet Neutral. Fen Ryan, thank you for the raid. Hey, welcome in. I'm Martin Wenzel. We're flying a world tour flight here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, flying into every country and territory in the world. We're flying this flight 241. We're flying from Nadi, Fiji, out to Sydney, or down to Sydney, Australia, in the PMDG Boeing 737-800. Doing alright, Planet Neutral. Magic Turtle, welcome in. Nice, almost home. From down there? From down under? Awesome. Yeah, I'm in a new room, Planet Neutral. I mean, I know you've been in it once in a while, but switched rooms in a smaller room here. I don't know if the acoustics are that great at this point. I figured Planet was the one who recommended the raid. Thank you for raiding. Thank you very much. Yep, got a new room, got a new setup. Trying out, because it is summer. This room is a little smaller. Got an overhead fan, which actually works. Cool off this room. Alright, flight level 340.
Flight level 340, Fiji 915.
Once I arrive in Sydney, no need to continue. Yeah. Well, originally when I started this world tour concept back in X-Plane, I started in New Zealand. So if I had continued doing it in X-Plane, I would have ended up finishing in New Zealand, but it's close enough. But yeah, I'm in a new room here. It's a smaller, not as much carpeting, and I don't know if they insulated this room better or what they did when they. I feel like this room's original, whereas the other room on the other side of the hallway is kind of an addition to the house. And I don't think they didn't put any insulation or anything, so it's basically it's an attic, but it's got walls. It's got finished walls and everything, as you guys saw on older streams. And I like that room because there's a lot of room. I can spread out my equipment and everything. With the carpeting, it kind of mutes the echo, bouncing off the walls and everything automatically, which is nice. But during the summer, it gets hot. Like right now, it's 64 degrees, partly sunny, 64 Fahrenheit here in Milwaukee today. It's cooled off. We had a few hot days, but it's cooled off again. So it's not too bad. And that room, and that's why I'd always stream in the morning. One reason I'd always stream in the morning during the summers, because as soon as it gets, you know, around 11 o'clock, noon, afternoon, it's too hot in that room. I'm soaked in sweat. Computer's overheating. Just it's not bearable. You can't get any decent airflow in there either. This room can get a decent airflow. It's smaller. It seems like it's an original, so it's got more of that insulation, keep that heat out. It still gets hot up here during the summer, but I could actually put a window air conditioner over here. So when it does get hot, I'll be able to put that on. So that opens up the possibilities, the options of me being able to do some streams in the afternoon, which would be nice, or in the evening. How much of that I will do, I don't know, because the other reason I do my streams early in the morning is because once my wife and the baby are awake, it's kind of spend time with them, let my wife take a break from him. Here we are in the jump seat. Actually, here we are in the jump seat. You can actually extend the jump seat, which is pretty cool. How about that for detail in this PMDG? You can actually extend the jump seat. Go back there and sit. Wait, that's actually a custom camera. Oh, I have a custom camera set, but I don't need a custom camera set because there's an actual camera set for that jump seat. So this would be the view if you're jump seating as an airline pilot to get to your base, or to get home from your last flight, and you don't live at where you're based out of. Yep. Well, that's kind of what I would do too, but it seems typically the problem. I usually, that would be when I'd like to stream. Would be better to stream late at night, but usually, then that means I could then stream on the day I work, because I come home from work, but it'd be late. I'd be tired, and just the way my schedule is built, I wake up at 4:45 in the morning most days, and so by the time they're getting to bed, it's about 9 o'clock at night, and I'm already in getting to sleep mode. So that's usually why, at least on a work night, I wouldn't stream. But opens up the options now, being in this room, being able to cool it off during the summer, especially, because I can stream during the stream in the morning, but also stream in the evening. Opens up those possibilities, which I'm excited about. It feels a little cozier in here too. I saw it. I didn't read it, Matt. Sorry. I can pop it up right there too, so I can see. Everyone can see it. Matt's just enjoying watching the paddle steamers outside my window that looks over the Mississippi River. That's cool. You know what? I don't think I've ever actually seen a paddle steamer like going down the river in all the time. You know, I drove over the road trucking for a couple of years. Lots of routes along the Mississippi River, and I don't think I ever saw a paddle steamer, or on the Ohio River either. I've seen the rivers both flooded, which is really insane to see. You know, kind of going over the bridge, and you just see there's the river, and then you see, and if you know the area too, you're like, oh wow, that's flooded. It's in the flood plain or whatever. At certain times of year. But yeah, I loved. It's getting that time of year where, so our company, I don't drive over the road anymore. I drive local. That's why I'm able to be home every night. That my schedule's a little bit more random now with my days off, but I do get days off versus driving over the road. But our company, Millis Transfer, has been bought by Heartland Express, which is just gobbling up truck companies now, and they have an idle policy, idling your truck, leaving your truck engine running all night, or when you're not actually driving down the road. And I think it's like if you idle like 10%, like you can idle up to 10% of the time your truck is total time you're out or whatever, or your truck engine is running, can be like 10% of the time can be just idling or something. And to get a bonus. It's to get a bonus. You don't get docked or anything, but it's to get a fuel bonus or something. A little bit of extra cash. Guys always gripe about it during the summer because during the summer it gets hot. You need to idle your truck during the summer so you can have the air conditioning going, especially places like Texas or like Haiti, Missouri. I'd always stop there, you know, on my way down to Memphis for barbecue. And you had to idle during the summer down there because, especially along Mississippi, St. Louis, anywhere along Mississippi, south of basically the Wisconsin border, you had to idle because it'd get humid and sticky and hot and just crazy. Oh, okay, so they stopped during the pandemic. Well, that's why I didn't see any of them, because basically I started driving over the road right when the pandemic, you know, I got in my own truck, my birthday 2019, so October 16th, 2019, I was starting over the road, and then obviously everything kind of changed in the new year. But never really slowed down, never really had any issues. Obviously there were, early on there were some things where it's like you go to I remember in Pennsylvania, I'd stop at the rest areas, and they closed the buildings of the rest areas. They wouldn't let anyone in the buildings of the rest areas. Well, who's going into? I mean, okay, fine. Don't put. You don't. I don't know why they did this. It's like, okay, so don't have a worker sitting there, you know, greeter, kind of like handing out maps and word stuff like that. Okay, fine, close that off. But it's like you should still have the bathrooms open. They'd be like, well, but we can't have someone go out there and clean the bathrooms, and you know, if we have the bathrooms open, then you know, people will be going in the bathrooms at the same time, and they'll be spreading. And it's like, so they put out like one. I remember there's one in Pennsylvania. I stopped at one, and it was raining and it was cold because this was, again, you know, probably March, April, and it was still kind of, you know, in between winter and spring. And I pull in the truck stop. I have to go to the bathroom, and all they have is a porta potty. All they have is a porta potty out in the middle of the parking lot. So now you have, I don't know, this rest area probably could park maybe 20 trucks. But obviously guys are stopping, you know, a rest area is a rest area. You pull over, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Usually you run in there. Well, now you have hundreds of truckers going into this porta potty. And how often is that porta potty cleaned, right? Hey, Magic Turtle, thank you for the follow. I keep saying this, I need to update those emojis. Or add some more if I can, I don't know. But yeah, I always thought it was so ridiculous because a porta potty doesn't get as much attention usually as actual brick and mortar bathrooms. Sometimes they get more attention, but I would not consider them the cleanest areas. Again, you don't have a place to wash your hands, so the whole concept was they didn't want people spreading. You know, they had no, you know, early on we didn't have any idea how, you know, COVID spread, really. You know, especially early on, it was like, oh, surfaces, we gotta clean surfaces. It's like, okay, so we're gonna close bathrooms and make everyone go to a porta potty. It's like, okay, so now I can't wash my hands, and I'm touching all these surfaces in the porta potty. You know, you're not usually touching too much in the porta potty, but it was so weird. But yeah, I spent basically, yeah, my 2 years on the road would have been kind of right in the middle of the pandemic, so I guess that's why I didn't see any paddle boats on the Mississippi and the Ohio. Kind of missed that. Mika, sorry I didn't say hey. Going well. You'll notice I'm kind of in a different room now. Couch isn't back there. Maybe I'll bring the couch over, throw it in, because that'll kind of absorb a little bit more of the sound. Can you hear the birds when I'm? Is it just when I'm talking? Can you hear the birds then? Because the microphone picks up. Because I don't see the microphone picking them up when I'm not talking. But yeah, they are. They're sitting right there. There's like the power line. You know, the power line that comes into our house is right there. So I don't know if they're sitting on that. It almost sounds like they're in the air conditioning unit. It's really weird. They're incredibly loud. Yeah, it's weird because this room is just across the hall from the other room, but it's so much quieter over there in terms of these birds, at least. Birds are just insane in the backyard. I don't know what it is. Yeah, and so maybe you'll hear a little bit more noise too. I got the fan blowing like crazy. I did have an overhead fan in the other room, but I didn't usually use it. At least I don't remember using it. Haven't been using it lately because it's been winter, but now I'm using this one. And right now, it's 64 degrees, so I don't Fahrenheit, so I don't really need much up here. But it still does get warm because the heat rises in this house. But I finally kind of pulled the plug and said, you know what? Why don't I move into this room? It's smaller. I can fit everything still. And this room is easier to cool. It still gets very hot up here compared to the downstairs. But it's got a fan, and because it's a smaller space, the fan actually does more work. And then, once it gets hot enough, the other day I had it turned on. I have a window unit right here, air conditioner that I can put in the window because we have regular windows in this room. The other room I was in is an addition to the house, and they put in this window that's kind of like a block window. It's almost, kind of imagine, my computer screen. I have a widescreen. I don't know why I'm saying imagine. I could just say the dimensions. It's kind of like, I want to say, most windows are tall and thin, right? They're tall and you got your standard window that you can put a standard window air conditioner in. Well, this window is it slides side to side, and it's probably, I want to say about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet tall, and then maybe 3-4 feet wide, right? So it's a wide window, not terribly wide, but you can't fit an air conditioner in there. Not possible. You can't even pop the screen open or anything. And again, it's just the effect because the roof is where the roof is, and then they're just able to put a window there. You can get some light and a little bit of airflow, I guess, fresh air, but not the greatest room. Basically, it's just a finished attic. Matt used to work on a paddle steamer from 2016 and 2019. Now you work as a freelance artist. Pretty cool. Do you have a website or something, Matt, that we can look at, or for your freelance work? Got any examples? Especially you're watching on YouTube. Check out our the Discord link is down below. That'd be pretty cool. You can post some of your work. That'd be cool to see. My freelance artistry is, I guess I would consider myself a freelance colorizer. I guess I color black and white photos. I used to do it all the time. I don't do it that much. But I don't do it that much anymore. I'd love to get more into it eventually. And maybe that's something that happens because, as Mika knows, I'm thinking of, I'm kind of waffling right now, but my plan or my goal is to next summer, next spring, next summer, join ATP flight school and get my private pilots, get my instrument, get my commercial, get all the things up to become a professional pilot and work for the airlines or work for corporate, whatever it is, and fly for a living. That is my goal. Still kind of figuring out if it's possible. A lot of logistics there to figure out. But I mean, once I'm doing that, once I'm into doing that and in a flow and everything, that'll probably be 3-4 years down the road, and now I'm back over the road a little bit in a sense. Not really over the road. I'll be at least out of the house. I won't be home every night, but because I'm out of the house, maybe I'm in a hotel room, on a layover, or finished my day and I have time, I might do a little bit more coloring again. I tried to do coloring when I was over the road in my truck, but it's like just the kind of the cramped space, and hopefully when I'm a pilot I'll make more money so I can buy like fancy stuff. Oh, still training. All right. Well, if you ever, again, like I said, join the Discord. I don't know what pages. I'll have to make some new pages on there. I'm sure there's some place you can even post your stuff in the general page for now and show off some of your work or that you're working on. And I think I have some stuff posted over there of photos I've colored, black and white photos, mostly Civil War stuff. I do want to get back into doing that though, but it's kind of hard working 12 hours a day, and by the time I get home, if there's enough time, we basically eat, and then I have to kind of chase my little boy around, so can't really steal away and spend. You know, it used to be so relaxing. Like when I lived in China, I had so much time where it's like I could just burn an afternoon or an evening and knock out like 2 or 3 portraits and not even think about it because I just had so much free time. I'm gonna turn this like auto brake off, the anti-skid. Don't need that. We're at cruise, so I'm gonna turn off the seatbelt sign. I think actually auto would affect that, take care of that. I'm also going to now turn on our I'm going to turn on FS sim rate as well, just so I can track what I'm doing. But the cool thing with the PMDG is it has built into the PMDG time acceleration control. So here we're now at time rate 2. We can go to time rate 4. We can go all the way up to time rate, I think, 16 with the PMDG. I'm just going to go with time rate Excel 4 for now. Might slow it down, because you can see we have about 3.5 hours left. If I go time acceleration 4 times, that means our flight's going to take probably another, if I keep it on time acceleration 4, we'll be done in about less than an hour here. Oh. Pretty cool too, because it makes us move a little faster, right? Sometimes when I see the plane moving this fast, I'm like, well, isn't that what it really looks like in real life? It really isn't. I mean, Microsoft Flight Simulator is 1-to-1, X-Plane's 1-to-1, and that's what I love about flight simulators, as you're in a 1-to-1 world. Matt, second great grandma, so great-great-grandma, was a Civil War nurse of the Confederates, and then later the Union Army. That's interesting. So she started out as a nurse for the Confederates, but then she was a nurse for the Union. Why did she do that? Like, why did she go from, you know, the Confederates and then started helping out the Union Army? Kind of interesting. Like, I've never heard of something like that. Alright, I'm going to get my GPS out for you guys and track the flight. I'm going to step away for a moment because it's about 9 o'clock. Family's starting to wake up, so kind of see what's going on. We're at cruise, not a ton to do. I've got the time acceleration on 4 times, so probably within the next hour we'll be getting close to Sydney. I'm going to keep you on this view so you can kind of see that sunset, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to get the... And we're looking out towards the north. Sun is kind of in the north because right now we're in the southern hemisphere, and it is going into the southern hemisphere winter, as in the northern hemisphere we're entering into summer, and the south is going down into winter. But if you look off this direction, maybe you'll be able to see some of the southern islands of Vanuatu, and then eventually you'll be able to see New Caledonia, possibly. Get this popped up for you guys while I have stepped away. We have something to look at. We'll get some music going and hope you enjoy the flight. I will be back, don't worry. And the way we got the time acceleration, it should probably be maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and we'll be coming in for all the approach and descent and all that good stuff. So I'll see you in a few. right. Pretty close. 32 minutes to go. And that should be pretty close. Well, 32 minutes, then we'll have to go back out on the final, so longer. But here at top of descent right up there. Before we get too far along, pull up the charts, figure out what we're doing. Alright, so we're coming up a barb, and then somewhere right in here we're going to start our descent. Once we get to Marlin, we're going to go on the Marlin Star, the standard terminal approach. Now, it's kind of weird because I don't think there's any real approaches for runway 34. Let's just kind of double check that. Oh, wait, how do I forget how I do that. Wait, you can see all the... right here, actually. Shows them all. There's no approach that comes in for this final. For 3-4 left. It's really weird. Nothing that lines you up this direction. Except for maybe this one, but we're not going to go all the way up to Rivet and then come back. So we can see Marlin 5. Marlin 5 takes us right into... It's going to take us into the airport, and then we're going to come back out. I don't know if there's like a... I would assume it's like a left-hand traffic pattern, right? Probably when it's all said and done. This seems like a weird way to do it. Like even here, like why is there not... Why do we not come in like prawn and then come back out? And fudge, Jacqueline. No, I'm thinking that's what happens. All the way in there. 2 sats there. I feel like at prawn we should like get to Manfa and Jacqueline. Make more sense for that setup. We'll pay attention to that. We can see a few points here. We need to be above 8,000 feet at Bickus. Whale, we need to be below 9,000 at Whale, and then above 6,000 at prawn. So we're going to be aiming for 6,000 by prawn. The VNAV in this plane does pretty well usually, as long as we get the clearance. Once we get, I'm assuming we're going to go over to Jacqueline and make more sense to come in, kind of knock out that waypoint prawn, put in Manfa and Jacqueline, better approach. Our approach plate, make sure we got Sydney, ILS, runway 34 left. Localizer is 110.1. Final approach 335. We're capturing the glide slope at ATRET, 19,000 feet, or 1,900 feet. The altitude, decision altitude is 220 feet. So that's the minimum. I think, now that I'm looking at it, I think DA means density altitude. I might be wrong. And then height is the actual. Well, this is going to depend on your density altitude is going to depend on your barometric pressure. And this is going to be the height above the runway. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But you can see the visual here. I think we're going to come out prawn and come out this way, and then you can see aircraft may be radar vector to final approach. It's probably what's going to happen. Would have to happen. PR. A minimum is 220. Localizer glide slope about 400. We're gonna be doing the 220. We do have a nice. I wasn't expecting it to be this late by the time we got in, didn't he? Right? See the lights? Right, approach speeds right there at 10 nautical miles from touchdown zone, 185 to 160. At ATRET, it's 160 to 150. Okay, so 10 miles out. It's gonna be right about in here. Be looking at probably trying to get down to closer to 160, and then once we get to average, we can go between 160 and 150. And then I'm not sure where we slow further down. You can see that minimum 150 knots right there. Go around, we're gonna go on a 335 degrees, our runway heading up to 500 feet, then we're gonna left turn 320 up to 3,000. That's visual right there. Once we get landed, kind of figure out where we're going. Runway 34, we got almost 13,000 feet of runway, so no problem getting stopped. We're gonna head over to the international terminal right here. We'll then get our gate assignment. We'll probably exit well before that, probably Alpha 2 at the latest. Alpha 2 would be a good one. If we do end up crossing runway 7, then we'll exit at Gulf right there. This might actually be the ideal to get off at Gulf, because then we don't have to get clearance to cross the runway. But if we got it off of Alpha 2, then we'll need to get the clearance. We'll take Alpha in and figure out which terminal and area we're going to park for the night. Popping up the calculator for our landing. Throwing the calculations right here. You can see we're gonna go. It's calling for flap 30. Change that. No, we can go flap 30. Flap 30. Landing weight is gonna be 61,131. Approach speed 148. Touchdown 148. And VREF 143. So pretty high, and I think that's because we have such a long runway. We can actually come in with a higher speed. And that's just below that minimum of 150. Landing altitude is 50. Let's put that in right now. I always like that, how this calculator puts out that landing altitude. 50. Controls the brightness for this one. Some of them dim, other ones don't.
5, expect Marlin 5, arrival ILS, approach, runway 34 left, report when ready for descent.
Alright, so we're getting the Marlin 5 arrival, which we put in, ILS approach, runway 34 left, ready for descent.
Expect Mile 5, arrival ILS, approach, runway 34 left, report when ready for descent, Fiji 915. Fiji 915, ready for
Alright, we're
descent.
ready for descent. You got top descent right there coming up
Fiji
on
915,
screen.
maintain flight level 360.
Maintain flight level 360, Fiji 915.
Alright, beginning our descent. We should start seeing some lights on the coast. It looks like we can right there. Probably, might be, it looks like Newcastle probably over there. Sydney's gonna be, actually might be, to be honest, because we are gonna be turning that direction. Because right now we're kind of aiming towards Wollongong or Nowra, Canberra, off in the distance, inland capital. We're gonna be turning kind of over this direction. So that's actually Sydney right there, those lights. Alright, we're going to keep descending even though we haven't gotten the clearance, so we kind of stay on schedule, otherwise we'll have trouble. ATC likes to do this where they, or the in-game ATC, there it is. Sometimes they just a little longer than they need to. 1028 is going to be our QNH.
Descend and maintain 9000. Contact Sydney. Approach 118.4. Fiji 915. Sydney approach. Fiji 915. Inbound. Mile at flight level 170. Descending 9000.
Fiji 915. Radar contact. Continue descent 9000. QNH 1028.
Continue descent 9000. Fiji 915.
Fiji 915. Cleared Marlin 5. Arrival. QNH 1028.
Alright, cleared on the Marlin approach.
Cleared Marlin 5.
Or
Arrival.
Marlin
Fiji 915.
arrival. Alright, we got most of our landing lights on. You can start seeing we got cloud cover. That away. Here, check out. Quick look at the METAR again. We have showers in the vicinity. 3-knot winds at 20 degrees. So perfect landing for runway 34 left. Visibility 10 kilometers plus. Ceiling 4,500 feet. Those are the broken clouds we're seeing below us. Okay, we need to be above 6,000 feet, so we're all right there. Down to 200 knots, slowing. Yep, almost there. Start seeing some Sydney right there. Get rid of that METAR. Need that. But it's VFR. We got broken clouds at 4,500, a few clouds at 3,000. QNH 1028. Winds 20 degrees, 3 knots. Scattered showers in the vicinity. Hanging here at. Oh, it automatically went to. I didn't change that, so that's interesting. I don't remember changing it to standard, so it automatically did that. Cool. I'm gonna stick a few different waypoints in here. Just it. Put it in Manfa. Manfa, then to Jacqueline. Here out to Sat. Oges and sausage. Sausage? Start descending. Sausage. We want to be at 3,000 feet. So under the 3,000. Gives us a nice right turn, I guess, final. Right turn of traffic. Our ground speed 253. We are climbing in speed. I'm not sure why. It looks like we're gonna have to extend this downwind just again because really descending. Alright, descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude 50. Recall checked, auto brake. 2. Landing data VREF. 148, flaps 30. Minimums. Forgot to set that minimum, that's why we're doing the checklist. 20. 220, set, completed. Approach briefing completed. Altimeter 1208, 1208, 1208, checked. Flaps 1. Go flaps 2. Turning base. Runways? Flaps 5. Final course heading. Head in here for our ILS. Plus 1150. That's not right. Also forgot that I got to put this in manually. These planes. There's the ILS. Then 335 is our course. 335, 335. Turned a little early. We're looking for that left runway, so we're a little bit far to the right. Yeah, there's not a lot of other traffic going on right now. You can see the rain showers over Sydney.
Fiji 915, maintain 3000.
Maintain 3000, Fiji 915.
Okay, so runway 34 right extended actually out into the bay and is further out than, closer to us than the left one. So keep that in mind. We should see that right one and be passing it before we reach our runway. Here we are. Plane's working its way in, autopilot.
Cleared ILS. Approach at 1900, runway 34 left. Report established on localizer.
Cleared ILS. Approach at 1900, runway 34 left. Report established on localizer. Fiji 915. Fiji 915. Established on localizer.
Okay, minimum speed of 160. We're
We're
gonna go with that. Flaps 15.
Contact Sydney Tower 119.45. Fiji 915.
Landing gear down.
Sydney Tower, Fiji 915, on final, 34 left.
Fiji 915, continue approach.
Continue approach, Fiji 915.
It's always nice landing in a bigger city than we have been when we're jumping around the ocean. Once we get to the capture the supply slope officially, we'll have a minimum speed of 150. Flaps 20. Landing checklist down to the flaps. Engine start switch is continuous. Speed brake armed. Landing gear down. Alright, so there's our glide slope. .35 is our initial out, and then we're going to turn 15 degrees to the west to 320 on our missed approach. Laps 30.
Fiji 9015, wind 50 degrees at 4 knots. Cleared to land 34 left.
Cleared to land, 34 left, Fiji 915.
Cleared to land. All landing lights on. Complete landing checklist. Flaps 30, green light. Alright, we got 2 red, 2 white. We're on the glide slope looking good. We got winds, a headwind about 6 knots to look like there. Alright, auto throttle disarmed.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
VG 9015, when vacated, contact ground 121.7.
A great flare there.
Contact ground 121.7 VG 915.
There we go. I don't know why the reverses didn't apply. There they go. Alright, crossing that runway. Your exit at Gulf. Alright, not the best landing there. Negative 268, so firm. I think I bounced a little bit. And now they're on the ground. Speed brake lever down. Flap levers
VG 915.
up.
Runway vacated with Bravo 6.
VG 915, taxi to 0, 5 Bravo 6, Bravo 4, Charlie.
Taxi to 0.
I think I bounced a little bit. Wasn't terrible. Firm. I think it looks like 268 feet per minute. Alright, so let's get through some of this stuff. Auto brake selector off. APU start. Probe heat switches off. Probes off. Engine start selectors off. Landing lights off. Flight director switches off. Probes off. Weather radar off. Transponder standby. And APU generator switches on when it's running. Okay, keep going in. Looking for do. Alright, we gotta figure out what gate we're actually going to. They're saying gate 0, which Bravo 6. That's not the right. I want to go for a gate. That's not helpful. See what GSX can give us. Find what gate GSX wants us at. We're looking at west parking. Go to gate 55. Follow me, and we are. Right. Gate 55 is going to be over here. Airport looks really nice. I hope it works. Because that's always a problem. You can have a beautiful beautiful airport, but it doesn't always translate. Doesn't translate to working with GSX, I mean. Fully. There it is. We turn here into International 5. Behind you. I'm not sure why there's no planes here. I don't know if my traffic injector just didn't work or just very barren here in Australia today. Alright, taxi lights off, runway turn off lights off. Parking brake set. Alright. Electrical APU on. Lead. And APU gen. Start levers. Allow the engines to operate at idle for around 3 minutes. And then we'll go cut off. Fasten seatbelt switches can come off. Anti-collision light off. Fuel pump switches off. Utility power switch as needed. IFE passenger suite power switch as needed. Window heat switches off. Electric, I can't read. Electric hydraulic pump switches off. Engine hydraulic pump switches can stay on. Electric one off. Recirculating fan switches as desired. Air conditioning pack switches auto. Isolation valve switch open. And APU and engine bleed switches on. Exterior lights as required. Flight deck lights as desired. Parking brake. Cabin door unlock. And let's go. Ooh. Let's set the wheel chocks. Begin deboarding.
Deboarding requested. Passengers deboarding starting.
Hey Sasha. Hey, starting deboarding. We should see the passengers coming off. Let's see, anything else we gotta do? Alright, shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps off. We'll go get external power. Get our external power. There go the passengers. Alright, shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps off once you get the ground power on. All off. Ground power. Ground power. Off. Off the APU. Just pump if I can come right. Off. Lead off. Alright, probe heat off. Hydraulic panel set. Flaps up. Parking brake on. Engine start levers cut off. Weather radar off. Shutdown checklist complete. Alright. Check Volanta, get a review of the flight. And I always forget. I have to get my time here. We landed at 8:50. Disorganized today. That and in 8. All right. So we have for our flight
Do you want
our
to
stats. And we got, now these times are my real times. Landing rate negative 266, not bad, but not great. 12,000 kilos burned of fuel, 1,766 nautical miles. Flight time, in-sim flight time was actually 4 hours and 22 minutes. But we used a little bit of time acceleration there to get it by faster. Volanta way, pull up the world tour map.
Pushback and startup approved. Qantas 7349.
I'm starting to hear some other planes.
Qantas 7349. Request taxi.
There's the world tour map.
Qantas 7349.
And
Taxi
today,
holding point. Runway 16 right. Via Alpha 1. Taxi to
Deal.
holding point. Runway 16 right. Via Alpha 1. Qantas
There it is.
7349.
Australia. Alright, so next flight we'll be flying, I believe we're flying back out, or no, we're flying across country. We're going to be flying over to Perth, to the west coast, and from there up to the Christmas and Cocoa Islands, and right back. So we're going to be around the Australia area for a while here. We're going to fly, next flight is on Qantas in the 737-800 again, and then we'll have a trio of Airbus A320 on Virgin Australia before returning to the Boeing 737-800 in Qantas. So Qantas and Virgin Australia for the next number of flights here in the Australia area. And looks like we're just about done deboarding. Yep, looks like we are. So we'll kind of zoom out. Beautiful look at this airport. Really nice airport. There's downtown Sydney over there. A little disappointing there's not a lot of planes parked today, but I guess it's because it's the middle of the night in reality. Alright, well, let me just double check, make sure everything's set on the screen there. It is. Okay, so thanks for coming along. Hope you had enjoyed the flight. I enjoyed that approach here into Sydney. We're going to be flying over to Perth, and that should be, I think, a day flight. We'll be able to see the Australian countryside. And that will be possibly this afternoon, but for sure this Thursday morning I'll be streaming the usual time, 7 o'clock, hopefully get that going. And that Perth flight will use time acceleration once again so we can not have to take 5 hours to do it. Alright, have a good day, and until next time, happy flying, and take care.